Laura, aka the Sound Sommelier, talking with Buscrates. What's your earliest memory of hip hop?
5 years old. Song by Fresh 3 MCs come on the radio. On the radio. It's a song called, matter of fact, the song was called Fresh. Like Fresh. Fresh. Yeah. 83. I remember that like it was last week.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Where were you living at that time?
I was in Pittsburgh. Still in Pittsburgh. I've been in Pittsburgh most of my life. I left here and there, but I've always been, been here. Yeah, that is a dope shirt. Let me see that shirt.
So it says, I'm the rapper, and then on the back it's Jazzy Jeff, so it says he's the DJ. When Jeff first started his lives, when the pandemic first broke, they were selling a bunch of these, and I just got it like a week ago.
Nice.
Yeah. Thanks. So speaking of Pittsburgh, what was the scene like in Pittsburgh back then?
Back in what? Back in when I was when I was like what? Like
when
5?
I'm so impressed that you remembered the song when you were 5. No, the scene.
Yes,
the scene when you actually remembered that there was a scene.
Yeah, a little bit, because see, I was 5, and my older sister, she is 6 years older than me.
Okay.
So like she went to a lot of places and got to see a lot of things I didn't get to see because I was too young. Right. I remember her going to there was a place here called Top Charlie's, and that's where all like the younger hip hop cats would go, but I was just way too young. And I would always still try to go anyway. I want to go. Like, no, you can't go.
Did music play a role in your upbringing? Like, was there always music in your home?
Always. Mm-hmm.
What were your... Sorry.
I was going to say, I just learned this recently. But my dad used to DJ parties back in the day.
Nice.
So it all makes sense.
I love that you just learned that recently when you've been a DJ for a while. Like, you'd think he would have mentioned it sooner.
No, I mean, I knew he had records and would play music around the house, but I totally didn't know about him, like, DJing parties and cabarets and stuff.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the first album you purchased with your own money?
LL Cool J Radio.
Nice.
I think I got some money I think it was either Christmas or my birthday. One of the two. But I got some money and went to, it was a place called Record Hut. I went there and bought the record. I think it was like $6.99 or something.
Did you go there with the intent to buy that record, or you were just digging through the...
I'm pretty sure I was intent on buying that radio record, LL.
Nice. Speaking of, which genres do you spend the most time with when you go digging?
Now, probably, my regular 80s boogie funk kind of stuff, because that's what I primarily play whenever I do my DJ sets.
Mm-hmm.
But I buy pretty much anything really, like 70s funk, jazz records, whatever.
Has that changed much over the years?
Not much, a little bit here and there, because in addition to like the older stuff, I'm always looking to buy newer stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Why did you choose to pursue a career in music? Did you have other interests ever, or was it always you just knew it was?
This was it. I never look at it like I chose it. It kind of chose me, and that's just how I'm just rolling with it.
Sure. So you're well known for your skills on the MPC. When did you start working in production?
2000 or 2001. I had a machine called Sonic EPS. It was like a 12-bit keyboard sampler. It's like the baby brother to the ASR-10, which everybody knows, like RZA and who else used the ASR-10? Large Professor, I think, used it. A lot of Kanye West people used the ASR-10, but EPS was like the smaller. Well, not smaller. It was the same size, but it was like an older version.
What made you choose that one?
Pittsburgh has a history with Ensoniq gear. A lot of the people here who made hip hop was using the Ensoniq stuff, the ASR-10, the EPS. And when I first got into it, I didn't have the ASR money, so I was just like, I'll just get the EPS and just work my way up from there.
Okay. Who were some early influences on the formation of your sound?
You like when I first started producing?
Mm-hmm.
DJ Spinner, Jay Dilla, of course, Pete Rock. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why it went out.
Happens. So you said Dilla, Pete Rock. Did you say anyone after that?
I said Dilla, Spinner, Pete Rock, Premier, of course.
Yeah. So which machines in your studio do you gravitate towards the most often when you're gonna write a track?
Lately, it's probably been. I just started dabbling more into my 2000 XL. It's over there somewhere. Let me see if you can see it.
Nice.
Yeah, it's over there. And here, I might as well give you the. If you go down here, that's the Moog grandmother. I use this. I've been using this a lot.
Oh yeah, I just saw someone asking you about that one.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then you go here. This is where all the. Yep. All the pedals and stuff, of course. There's the clavinet, Rhodes, all that stuff.
So do you just have to build up now because you don't have a lot more like floor space?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I get the keyboard, the tiers, and just stack up.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So who were the East Liberty Quarters?
East Liberty Quarters is myself, G-Man, and Nice Rec. We're three of us. We all how it happened was we all would have nights out DJing, and we were playing like 80s funk and boogie and that kind of stuff. And it just was a natural transition for us to start learning how to make that stuff, with all the drum machines and the synthesizers and whatnot. And between the three of us, there's a lot of gear. A lot of gear.
You released the Spectrum EP in 2014 with features from ELQ. Do you feel this was an accurate representation of you as a solo artist at the time, even though you were still working with the East Liberty Quarters?
I would say so, yes. Because that's a sound. When I did my solo record, it's like a solo member of ELQ's record, pretty much, with ELQ on it. So it was kind of like a natural transition for both of that. I had G-Man on one song. I think I had Nice Rec on one song. So,
right.
Yeah.
So to go a little bit personal, you were hit by a car while riding your bike that same year. Did the trauma resulting from that accident affect your creative process, your everyday routine?
Nope. As a matter of fact, I remember when I got home from the hospital getting hit, one of the first things I did was I walked over to one of my synthesizers to see if I could still operate it with my arm, because I had. Well, no, that was the second accident because there was two. But the first one, no, it didn't really affect it, because that's just where my mind was. As a matter of fact, with the first accident, 2014, Dame Funk had dropped 7 Days of Funk with Snoop Dogg. There was a 45 box set that came with it. I hobbled to the store on crutches to go get it. Yeah.
Dedication to the craft, yeah.
Mm-hmm. No doubt.
How did your experience playing at Wallapee's Voyage Funktastique Party in Montreal compare to other live performances that you've had in your career?
Well, let me say this. Montreal is probably my favorite city out of everywhere I've ever been.
Nice.
Still to this day. The energy up there was great. The vibe was great. The setting was perfect. And just Walla P, he's just like me when he DJs. We're both like real animated and real into it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like I was looking at another version, like a Canadian version of myself. It was crazy. It was so much fun.
Nice. So you put out Home Again, a solo instrumental cassette on Thrash Flow in 2017, which was just several releases that explored your hip hop and soulful side. How was this a departure from your earlier work?
Well, it's actually a return to my earlier work because I got into the hip hop thing first. Then I went into like the boogie and the funk stuff later. But I never really left behind the hip hop side. It's all there. You know what I mean? It's all there. And sometimes I combine the two to see what can happen with that.
So you mentioned Dame Funk. In 2011, you opened for him with ELQ and then played LA's Funkmosphere Party with him again in 2017. He's known as the epitome of funk. What would you like to be known for?
What would I like to be known for? Man. That's a good one.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you got me there. I guess I would just like to be known for being a genuine music lover, a genuine musician who likes to, while he explores the funk, never left his hip hop roots behind. You know, I do it all.
Nice. So a well-rounded.
Well-rounded, exactly.
Where did the nickname Boogie Bus come from?
I don't even remember who started that. That might have been Walla P who started that. I can't remember exactly, but because people, my stage name is Buscrates, so and I'm doing all these boogie sets, and this is just something happened where you started calling me Boogie Bus, and it just stuck.
All right.
I run with it.
Makes sense. So you were part of the very first 7-inch single release on the Voyage Funktastique imprint. Why do you think Got Me featuring Laura Banak is one of your most recognizable tracks?
Say that again.
So you were part of the very first 7-inch single release on the Voyage Funktastique imprint. Why do you think You Got Me featuring Laura Banak is one of your most recognizable tracks?
When that came out, I don't know. It just kind of took off and it just grew legs and took off. As a matter of fact, my friend Ian texted me earlier with the video of somebody playing that, just like earlier today.
Nice.
So I mean, it's a beautiful thing to see something you created 6 years ago still standing and still has life. Because a lot of music, sometimes people put something out in that moment. Oh yeah, this was great, and then like 6 months later they forget about it. So for that to stand tall, stand the test of time like that is a beautiful thing.
Nice. So I've said it so many times before, but I would do just about anything to be a fly on the wall at one of Jazzy Jeff's playlist retreat gatherings. How did it feel to be invited, and can you share one of your best memories from those 4 days?
That was definitely one of the greatest experiences I've ever had. Just being around all that creative energy in one space. I've never experienced anything like that before in my life. It was crazy. I guess one of the highlights about it is just connecting with artists I've known about but I've never met in person. And just to be able to be like, oh yeah, and make the actual physical connection instead of just being behind a screen. So it was nice to be in the same space as my brother's like a tall black guy. I mean, I knew him and I knew DJ Harrison, but it's just nice it was nice to see all three of us in the same space.
I was going to say, were they your bunkmates? Because Applejack mentioned who he got to room with. Did you room with those two guys?
No, actually, my roommate there was Lil John Roberts, the drummer, and Z-Trick. Yeah, those are my roommates there. Applejack was there, I think, a year or two before I went. So I didn't get to see him there, but I knew Applejack from when I lived in Atlanta. So, yeah.
Nice. So how did you sorry?
I said that's big bro, Applejack.
He's a real good dude. How did you and MC Libretto Eternal ride and link up?
That happened because of I know I'm killing this apple. I'm starving.
I told you, feel free to eat.
No, but I've done a lot of stuff for Liquid Beef. That's Matt Nelkin's label.
Okay.
And Libretto is an artist on his label. And Matt reached out to me. I said, "Yo, I got this project I want to do with this guy Libretto or whatever." So he pretty much connected the dots with us.
How did you hear about him?
Through Matt. He just sent me an email.
He was like, you gotta work with this dude.
Yeah. And he sent me some tapes of him. I was like, okay, I'll work with him. I've even flown out to Portland.
Nice.
To do some of the recording. So it wasn't all like across the internet. Like we actually did some of the stuff in person. And when we wrapped up, we did like a live performance of some of the songs. And we did a live performance, and then we did something on the radio up there on X-Ray FM.
Very cool.
There's footage of that somewhere. I don't know where, but it's out there.
You got to find that. Mm-hmm. Can you share any details about blasting off your first ever full-length LP, which is due to drop October 2nd on Bastard Jazz Recordings?
What you want to know?
Anything and everything.
It's been in the making for quite a while. I would say well over a year now. Mm-hmm. And people over the years have always asked me, "Yo, when you gonna drop an album? When you gonna drop an album?" And I'm just kind of like, And then Bastard Jazz reached out to me and was like, "Yo, you should do an album." And I was at that timing, I was just like, "All right, I'll do an album," because that's what people want. So I'm just giving people what they want.
But did you want to do it now? Was it kind of like you got coerced into it, or?
It wasn't necessarily a coercion. My focus was just so many different places, but I just felt like if I didn't do it then, I wasn't gonna do it. So I had to jump at it, when I did.
Okay. What should fans expect on first listen? Is it classic Buscrates?
Vintage Buscrates.
A little bit of a departure.
No, it's straight Buscrates funk. With all the moogie lines and snappy drums and just jams.
Has this pandemic affected your creativity much, or has it been a welcome interruption, kind of like an excuse to kind of just stay home and grind?
I would say it affected me when everything shut down and I was not able to actually go out and perform, do beat sets, do DJ gigs. That's where it really affected me the most. It didn't really affect my creative output because I had more time, but I just couldn't get out there to the people. Now we have to do it all behind the screens, which is cool. I'm really taking a liking to being on Twitch a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was going to say, I think a lot of people feel that they had to put a lot of pressure on themselves to produce because they had home in a lot of time, but I think a lot of people ran into some blockages or writer's block.
Well, you can't force it, it has to happen naturally. You never force creativity.
So you shared a post on here a few months back about home dance parties with Pittsburgh DJs. Can you share what it is about your weekly stream on Twitch, like you just mentioned, aptly named Science Function, that makes you so happy?
It's the one day a week where I can fully let loose and not have to worry about any other stuff that's going on in my life or otherwise. It's just a day for me to get behind these turntables over here and just have fun and vibe out with some people, and it's a good time.
Do you ever
Wednesdays, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. 3 hours Eastern time.
Do you ever pre-plan your sets, or is it kind of just you reach for whatever?
I fly by the seat of my pants, and I think that's what makes it so much fun too. Because I put a record on, and I'll be like, okay, what can I do with this? And then I'll dig. Oh, okay, we'll try this. It's fun. It keeps it interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And it keeps me on my toes.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
So I also just learned that you're DJ Spinna's biggest fan on earth. From conversations I've had with others, you may have some competition. What is it about him that you respect the most?
One of the biggest things about Spinna is his versatility. He could do the craziest neck snap in his hip hop beat. He could go on and do the house thing. He could do Michael Jackson DJ tribute sets. His versatility is really what I try to follow, that path of versatility, not being stuck in one particular thing.
Nice. So you posted a photo of yourself wearing a shirt that reads, "There's nothing more American than Oh, I think you're frozen. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You back?
Yeah. What are we? What did you catch?
I'm gonna start over. So I said you posted a photo. You posted a photo of yourself wearing a shirt that reads, "There's nothing more American than racism." Why is racism synonymous with being American, especially now?
It's always been that way. It's just people are seeing it more because of all the smartphones and cameras and whatnot. It just wasn't as visible to as many people back then. It's always been like that. And that's a shirt I bought from my man Mark Matthews. He runs this company called the Bowtie Company. He's a runs a Bowtie Company, but he made some shirts. He's out in Cleveland.
He's in Queens?
Huh?
He's in Queens?
No, he's in Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh, I thought he was in Queens.
No, he's in Cleveland,
okay.
Ohio. Yeah, he's right 2 hours away.
I was gonna say that's pretty close to you.
Oh yeah, real close.
All right. Well, I appreciate you taking the time, my fellow Aries friend. Is there anything else you want to add?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you on the squad. We're deep out here. You know who else we got?
Who else we got?
Premier. We got Large Professor.
I'm aware.
Shaka Khan, Aretha Franklin, Gil Scott Heron, Herbie Hancock, Diana Ross.
Know about Herbie.
We got a lot of people. Cool Herc. He invented hip hop. Aries invented hip hop.
I'll take it. That's gonna go on my headstone.
There you go.
And also that we're both Southpaws. Into that. But is there anything else that you want to add or promote that I didn't cover?
You can check me out on Wednesdays on my Twitch, 5:00 p.m. Eastern time. Get busy on these turntables over here.
Yeah, you got to see him jam out.
Yeah, because you did pop in there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think because you were dancing so much, that made my son get really into it too.
Yeah. I just throw on the headphones and I'm into it, you know?
So I appreciate what you do for the culture.
Oh, thank you. And I appreciate James. He's
a big fan.
Mm-hmm.
But I will talk to you soon, hopefully, and I hope you have a really good night and a great weekend.
Okay, you too.
Thanks so much, Crates.